Are you an artist, maker, or small business owner who's just getting started learning about SEO, search engine optimization? You're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to share some tips for beginners about keywords and keyword research, including some free ways to do your own keyword research. Quick note. This video series was originally created as part of a beta version of the Badass Creatives Marketing Accelerator. I am moving all of my educational content from that program over here to YouTube so you can watch it for free, but the new version of the Badass Creatives Marketing Accelerator will still include a mentorship, support from me, and a community of other badass creatives, artists, makers, and creative business owners. So if you want to learn more about the program and get on the wait list for when enrollment reopens, head over to badasscreatives.com. So in the old days, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, keywords looked a lot like this. They were single words, and a lot of times you would stuff them into the back end of a website. This is where we get the term keyword stuffing, because it would really look a lot like this. This is kind of very spammy by today's standards. But at the time, it worked, and it was an effective way to increase your rankings in the search engines. But things have changed a lot over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And so while this field technically still exists on the back end of most websites, it's not really as important as it once was. So let's talk about what works now. So I want you to think of keyword phrases rather than individual words. Those single individual words might be a great starting places if you sell purses or perfume, for example. That obviously boils down to one single word, but think in broader phrases that people might be searching for, because a lot of times we're searching for something much more specific when we're trying to find a gift or a product for ourselves, something like cute gifts for an 8-year-old niece, for example. So we get the term long tail keywords from this, from these phrases that people either type into the search engine like Google, or they ask their phone, right? We're constantly using all of these voice apps now. We have Siri on our phones. We have the Alexa. We have all these different ways to search now, and we're often searching multiple words at a time. They're whole phrases or questions that we're asking. What keywords should I be optimizing my website for? We needed to start with some research, and there's a lot of really free and easy ways to do that research, and that's what I'm going to go over and recommend that you start with. I'll add some additional more advanced options if you want to explore that, but I'm not going to go too deep into those. So I love the autocomplete features on search engines, and most search engines have some version of an autocomplete feature you might be familiar with. Here's some examples. So on Google, you start typing in cute gifts and it starts giving you all of these suggestions, right? Or even if you type in a whole phrase, it's going to give you other suggestions. And I want you to pay attention to what else is coming up when you're typing in the products that you sell. Are there other ways that people talk about the products you sell? And make note of all of those different variations on these phrases and keep track of them and try to include them throughout your website content. Amazon also has an internal search engine and an autocomplete feature. And since it is a shopping site and one of the biggest shopping sites in the world, Amazon is another great place to check for that autocomplete feature, especially since it's very, very product focused. And so the reason that we want to pay attention to this autocomplete feature and these other similar features is because the search engines are anticipating your search based on what a lot of other people have already been searching in the past. If it's something super obscure that only one or two people has ever searched, that stuff isn't going to come up in these autocomplete features. But if it is coming up in the autocomplete feature, it means that a lot of people have searched for that topic or that phrase before. And so take note of it, because those might be phrases that you can weave into your content and on your product pages and throughout your website to help your products get found. Speaking of products, Etsy is another good one. Most of us focus on handmade products, independent brands. We are small businesses. And so Etsy is another great place to start for keyword research. It is a great tool to use it in this way, even if you don't sell on Etsy. Pinterest is another one. We'll go deep into Pinterest and the ways in which it is a super powerful search engine in another lesson. But for now, just know that you can use it for keyword research. People definitely go to Pinterest to get inspired, to sort of dream about things they might want to buy in the future. So it's great inspiration for that. And then YouTube is another one. YouTube is especially good if you are trying to brainstorm potential topics for blog posts or YouTube videos, or any other sort of like video content or informational type content. People often use YouTube as a place to figure out how to do something, to learn more about something. So it's often going to be those types of search questions or search queries. But they sometimes go in there looking for product reviews, best of list, unboxing videos, things like that. So there is a lot of product focused searches on here. And then Google has a few more tools. One of them is their related searches feature, which you'll find at the very bottom of the search results page. So this is a screenshot of what that looks like. If you scroll all the way down to the very bottom, in this example, I searched for funny greeting cards. So it's showing related searches. It's giving a few examples of other things that people are often searching for that it thinks are related. So these are other great alternate keywords if they're relevant to your products. And then finally, Google's People Also Ask. And this doesn't come up on all searches, but it comes up more and more for certain types of searches. And it's usually found somewhere in the middle of the page. Basically, you'll see that people also ask, and you'll see a few questions, 3 or 4 usually. If you click the little down arrow next to those, it'll drop down, it'll show a snippet of a blog post or a page that it thinks is answering that question. And as you start to interact with this People Also Ask feature and open those little boxes up, it'll usually show more questions. So this is another great way to generate ideas, especially for blog posts and things like that, evergreen content. And Answer the Public is another tool. They do have a paid feature, but you can do a certain number of searches, I think every week or every month, using their free tool. But basically all you do is you just pop in 1 or 2 simple words. In this next slide. So I popped in perfume as the word. And what it's going to do is it's going to show me these really cool charts, and it shows a lot of different types of charts. This is just the first one that pops up. And it shows you different questions that people are asking related to that word, perfume, in this example. So it gives you where questions, when questions, which, what, who, why, like all these things. So this is another really great way to generate ideas for potential blog posts or videos, things like that. Also could be used for social media content ideas, right? If people are asking a lot of questions about your products and you're wondering what to post on social media, it's another great way to generate some quick ideas. Some advanced keyword research tools. Now, I'm not going to go deep into these. I'm just going to name some of them off because they are more advanced. But if you really want to dive deep, you can look up Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush, Moz, Ahrefs. I never know if I'm saying that right. But these are some of the industry standard keyword tools. Some of these are paid. Some of these, like Google Keyword Planner, that's done through their Google AdWords advertising platform. You don't technically have to pay to use that tool, but you have to set up an account with the advertising platform. So it's a little bit more technical, but definitely something to explore if you get super excited about doing keyword research. Now, where and how to use the keywords and keyword phrases. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next lesson, which is on-page factors. Basically, you want to weave in these keyword phrases throughout your website in ways that are relevant and useful and helpful to your potential customers. So more on that in the next lesson.